This is News 8 Now this morning.
Darylyn will be using it, if approved, to fill in low-lying areas of the Genoa site as we go through the decommissioning and dismantlement of our retired coal power plant site.
That really sets it apart from what it had been before, where it was all just K through 12 in one building, and so it gives the option for students who maybe want a different experience, want that Christian education in high school. They come here, and it's a standalone high school.
A lot of people have been here from the very beginning, and they're in their early 30s, so it's really cool. They just inspire young people to kind of get involved in the community, and I think it's an absolutely economic, massive boost to the area.
Good morning, everyone. That was your morning eye opener. I'm Dua Esrar.
I'm Derek Sibley.
It is July 12th, 2023. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day.
Halfway through the week.
There we go. Exactly.
Derek, no one says hump day anymore.
Well, I still say it, so get over it.
Oh my God. We're gonna have to.
That's the way it is. You know, I mean, if this is the way we're gonna act, I mean, I'll just throw it right back at you.
Oh my goodness.
So.
No, that is not how that works. Only I get to dish it out.
No.
Yes. Well, regardless, I'll dish out this.
Wait a minute. So
you can dish out the weather.
So you just said nobody says hump day, but technically I said it. So technically, people still say it because I'm a person.
What if I said you're a nobody?
She has nothing to come back to that. So anyway, let's talk about. No. They didn't hear you.
Okay. Anyway, let's get to the weather.
Yeah. So we got some showers and thunderstorms that we are watching back towards the west here this morning, and we'll keep our eyes on those showers and storms because some indications are if they hold together, we could be turning pretty wet and stormy around the Coulee region here. Right now, though, things are pretty dry, but again, you can see some of those showers and storms on the left side of your screen there towards the west. Current temperatures are into the 50s and 60s. We got 60 in La Crosse now. 58 is the temperature in Eau Claire. It's 50 in Sparta, 57 currently in Winona, 58 degrees in Viroqua. Prairie du Chien, good morning. You're currently at 62. Mixed clouds and sun here between now and around the 8 o'clock hour because by 9 o'clock we start to turn cloudy. Slight chance of a shower, but better storm and rain chances in general late this morning into the early afternoon hours today with those temperatures well into the low to mid 70s. As far as your allergy symptom index goes, the grass and pollen remain low, mold remains high. Same forecast again as we head to tomorrow. Lots of mold and junk, by the way, picking up on the latest air sample reports from the Allergy Associates of La Crosse reporting that information for us. So stay tuned. I'll have a check on your full weather forecast in a few minutes. We'll talk more about this rain here that's moving in from the west, and we'll give the full details on that in just a bit. Dua?
Thanks, Derek. Well, let's get to some news this morning. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office is asking the community for any information they might have regarding the death of 55-year-old Andrew Freischett. Freischett was found dead in a car outside the Jimmy's In Between Gentlemen's Club last week. His death is considered suspicious, and the Sheriff's Office is asking anyone who was at the club anytime from June 29 to 30th to speak with them. They ask that you call them at this number even if you think you didn't see anything. If police can't ID every witness at the club during those days, they may start posting surveillance photos and ask the public for help that way. The DNR has identified the cause and person behind a more than 800-acre wildfire in central Wisconsin. Officials with the DNR now say burning debris caused the wildfire. They say the debris burning happened before Monday, but the burn pile reignited Monday around 1 p.m. The following wildfire took about 8 hours to be almost fully contained. The DNR confirmed yesterday that the fire at its peak grew to 830 acres. Officials say gusty winds made the fire unpredictable. The blaze destroyed several buildings along Cumberland Avenue. Officials have also identified the person who burned the debris, and that person will be sent the bill for the damage. A heads up for drivers on the south side of La Crosse. Be extra alert around train crossings. A viewer sent us this video last night at the train crossing on South Avenue by Green Bay Street. A train is clearly crossing, but the level crossing signal devices are not lowering the gates and there are no flashing lights. Last month, an MTU bus hit a train at a crossing on Ward Avenue, and the bus driver told police they didn't hear any alarms or train horns. We'll be following up with area officials today. In the meantime, make sure there's no train coming if you're at these crossings. Dairyland Power Cooperative is applying for a DNR permit to dump dredge sand at its decommissioned Genoa plant. Dairyland decommissioned the coal plant back in 2021 and is now preparing the site for potential reuse. They want DNR permission to take the filtered sand that the Army Corps of Engineers regularly removes from the Mississippi River Pool 9.
Dairyland will be using it, if approved, to fill in low-lying areas of the Genoa site as we go through the decommissioning and dismantlement of our retired coal power plant site.
They also plan to cover the dump areas with clean concrete, gravel, roads, or topsoil and vegetation. Dairyland says an outside lab tested the Army Corps of Engineers dredge sand and found the samples don't pose a risk to human or environmental health. The DNR is welcoming public comment on Dairyland's application through July 18th. We'll have more information on our website. La Crosse area attorney and former judge Candice Tulatosh announced she will run for La Crosse County Circuit Court judge in 2024. Tulatosh previously served as La Crosse County Branch 5 Circuit Court judge in 2015. She is running for Branch 3 Circuit Court judge, which is currently held by Judge Todd Bierke. Bierke is retiring at the end of this month. Last week, Governor Tony Evers appointed Mark Huseman to finish out Bierke's term. Large-scale child care program funding didn't make it out of this year's state budget discussions, but some child care resources are on the way. Federal ARPA dollars are enabling a $500,000 grant program to open all caregivers certified or licensed in La Crosse County. Details on the application period are not out yet, but organizations will have a month to apply for a maximum grant of $25,000. According to a UW Extension presentation, the grants are supposed to help providers with capital improvement projects and improve business models or increase what they can offer clients. They're not going to be used for operating expenses, salaries, or benefits. The Minnesota Conservatory for the Arts is transferring ownership. St. Mary's University will hand it over to Cotter School starting August 1st. St. Mary's underwent an academic restructure last year that saw the closure of classes and department connected to MCA. All summer programming at MCA will continue and fall programming will be announced later this summer. And construction began for the new Cooley Christian High School in West Salem. The building was donated to the school 3 years ago. After working through rezoning with West Salem, remodeling has officially begun. Before, the school had its students all under one roof. Now, high schoolers will have their own building.
It really sets it apart from what it had been before, where it was all just K through 12 in one building. And so it gives the option for students who maybe want a different experience, want that Christian education in high school. They come here and it's a standalone high school.
The school will be open in the fall and will hold around 70 students. Wise says once the remodel is done, they are hoping to have the capacity for 250 to 300 students. A July tradition that started back in 2018 is just a few days away from taking over Maple Grove venues. Country Boom kicks off its 3-day country concert series on Thursday in West Salem. Setup efforts started this morning with a crew of 20 putting in 12-hour days to have the stage, VIP areas, food and drink tents all set up. Country Boom's co-founder says it's an event that local millennials have been able to call their own and make it a tradition.
A lot of people have been here from the very beginning and they're in their early 30s, so it's really cool to just inspire young people to kind of get involved in the community, and I think it's an absolutely economic massive boost to the area.
Since launching in 2018, Holt House says Country Boom stands to bring in about 26,000 people over the 3-day event. And for ticket info and lineups, we'll have a link on our website. Well, still ahead on your morning news, while inflation is still high, small businesses are resisting the urge to raise prices. And in the midst of Amazon's Prime Days, pressure is rising over a potential UPS strike. That and more is coming up this morning. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Burger King in Thailand has introduced a new item it calls the Real Cheeseburger. It's a burger with no meat. Instead, the bun is filled with as many as 20 slices of American cheese. The Real Cheeseburger costs about $11 US. In Thailand, cheese is especially popular among young people. It's common for it to be sprinkled on all kinds of dishes. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning is after the break.
Quiet conditions continue across the area. We're starting to see increasing clouds, though, beginning to move in from the west. Most of the rain here and thunderstorms, however, still back to the west, but they're going to start to move in here by later this morning and also into the early afternoon, which could cause some wet conditions there for your dog walking conditions, however. And as we head into this evening, we'll be looking at some mostly cloudy skies, slight chance of a shower there. Temperatures as you head out the door currently are into the 50s and low 60s, 58 degrees in Eau Claire, 60, however, in La Crosse. As we take a look now at your zone forecast today, our high temperatures will be rising into the mid 70s only this afternoon. So that's all thanks to the clouds and showers that will be around here today in La Crosse County. 75 today in Shelby. As we head further south, Soldiers Grove 75 today. Stoddard looking at a high of 74, Caledonia 73, Houston area at 75. Same temperature in La Crescent today, and Lansing you'll be at 74 degrees. As we head north into our central zones today, we'll be at 75 in Trepolo today, 73 in Blair, 73 today in Sparta as well, and a high of 74 in Arcadia. A couple of showers and storms here. Less rain chances further north you go, but it's still possible in some spots here in the Chippewa Valley today with a high of about 74 degrees this afternoon in Eau Claire. Stay tuned. I'll have a check on your full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes. We'll talk about some of the rain here that could be moving in later this morning.
In your consumer news this morning, fewer small businesses are raising their prices. That's according to a survey from the National Federation of Independent Businesses. 29% of respondents said they raised prices in June. Economists say it is the lowest level since March of 2021. The survey also found that 42% of small businesses are having trouble filling job openings. The tight labor market has been putting pressure on employers to raise prices and protect their profit margins, according to Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. The FDA is recalling more than 21,000 electrosurgical tools, saying they pose a serious risk. They're from Johnson & Johnson's Mega 2000 and Mega Soft reusable patient return electrodes. The pads conduct an electric current through the body when used during surgery. While no deaths have been reported, the FDA says it's received 63 reports of injuries. Device makers Megadyne Medical Products says it has informed customers with letters and is investigating the issue. Google faces a potential class action lawsuit for allegedly taking personal data from millions of users without their permission. The lawsuit points to the tech giant's privacy policy that says it can use publicly accessible information to train its AI models. The legal action comes as a new crop of tools like Google's Bard are gaining more and more attention in the U.S. Amazon Prime Days and sales from competitors this week will highlight Americans' love for the convenience of online retail. But there could be a slowdown on the horizon just as consumers begin back-to-back school shopping and retailers prepare for crucial holiday seasons. A potential strike by the UPS workers who make millions of packages move every day could impact shipping of all types and those store shelves.
Search, click, buy, deliver. The two-day Amazon Prime Day event is off and running and prompting others like Walmart, Target, Best Buy, and Macy's to launch their own big July sales. It also highlights the supply chain that gets a package from warehouse to doorstep.
I think we take it for granted exactly how much we're purchasing, shipping. I mean, I think for a lot of Americans, we're probably getting a package maybe every other day.
While Amazon has its own delivery network, the company relies on UPS for some shipping, like many e-commerce outlets big and small. UPS carried an average of 20.8 million U.S. packages a day through last year. And more than 340,000 UPS workers represented by the Teamsters Union have authorized a strike over pay and working conditions starting August 1st if an agreement is not reached. The Biden administration is monitoring negotiations closely.
There's a reason why the parties negotiate directly. They stay at the table. I'm hopeful that that is what they will continue to do.
Virginia Tech economics professor Jadrian Wooten says a prolonged strike would have a wider ripple than many consumers might think as other shippers shoulder the extra load.
Even if you're not a UPS customer, if you are just purely FedEx, purely post office, you likely still will see an impact in your deliveries, even though you're not relying on UPS.
And it would happen at a crucial time for retailers during back-to-school shopping and as they stock shelves for the holidays.
Others in the shipping sector have begun watching the UPS talks closely and thinking about their own plans in the event of that strike. Well, that's it for your morning consumer news. Let's check in with Derek and get today's forecast.
All right, thanks for that, Duo. We're looking at the cloudy skies here increasing from City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse, and you can see some of those thick clouds out there. That is out ahead of some showers and thunderstorms that I'm currently watching, which we'll get to here in a second. Temperatures in La Crosse are currently at 60 degrees. Meanwhile, to the north in Eau Claire, you're looking at 58 degrees with light northeast winds here. Current temperature readings as you head out the door into the 50s and 60s this morning. Let's get a check on your planner, and you can see that we will be looking at some of those thunderstorms arriving by around noon today. Partly cloudy, will break in the rain by around 4, and maybe some scattered showers that could redevelop as we head into early this evening. Forecast high temperatures today mainly into the 70s around the Coulee region. We were tracking some showers and a few thunderstorms across portions of the Chippewa Valley late last night. Those have since cleared out. Now we're pretty much in the clear. Cloudy skies, however, are increasing associated with this storm system back towards the west. You can see lots of showers and thunderstorms back to the west of us here across portions of Iowa and southern Minnesota and portions of the northern plains. They're riding up along the stationary frontal boundary right now, and that's what they're currently working off of. And if that holds together, they could make their way east and affect us here starting later this morning. Here's 8 o'clock here on the forecast model, and you can see those showers and thunderstorms beginning to approach us. Again, if they hold together, we could be looking at heavy rain here moving in across the Coulee region by around 11 o'clock this morning or so, and that will continue into the early afternoon because by around 3 p.m. probably our eastern zones will probably be dealing with this leftover showers and storms as it continues to make its way towards the east. And then by 6 p.m. I expect it really to be all gone here. We'll just be left over with some cloudy skies and a slight chance of a shower or storm or two. Same can be said here as we take you into 10 o'clock tonight. By overnight tonight, less rain chances, maybe a spotty shower here and there, but for the most part, skies looking okay. We'll start to see some clouds increase again as we head into early tomorrow morning with a slight chance of a shower or two. Same can be said here as we head into tomorrow morning with the exception of about 10 o'clock because I think by that point we could be looking at some scattered showers redeveloping over portions of the area tomorrow morning. Then we get a break here again by around 2 o'clock with an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Still can't be completely ruled out. So here's 6 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I'm watching yet another disturbance moving in from the west. You can see some spotty thunderstorms over portions of Minnesota. Those showers and storms will collide and move together and move their way towards the east, and we could be looking at that here affecting us as we head into tomorrow evening and night. Now, rain tracker showing that we could be looking at around an inch or so. I think the higher totals are going to be well to the south here over our southern communities from this complex of showers and storms that's moving in later this morning into the early afternoon. We'll keep the rain and storm chances in the forecast again tomorrow slightly, but better storm chances on Friday, a break on Saturday, another slight chance of storms possible on Sunday. Highs mainly into the 80s, lows mainly into the 60s. All right, stay with us. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. We're taking a quick break with a look what happened on this day in history for July 12th. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Morning Blitz. The Legion baseball regular season is winding down, but the action is not. Teams are getting in the last games of the season so that they're ready to make a deep postseason run. And with that, we go out to West Salem as Post 51 is taking on La Crosse. Post 52. La Crosse up 3 in the third. Wes Barnhart hits one in the infield. Second baseman knocks it down, but a run comes in to score. Post 52 makes it 4-0. Later in the game, two-man on for Barnhart, and this time he sends it over to left field, and it's trouble. Just does stay fair. Erickson comes in to score. La Crosse up big. West Salem trying to make a comeback. Leadoff batter Chris Calico crushes this pitch into the right center gap. That gets to the wall. Calico is in with a leadoff triple. Very next batter, Jacob Helgeson, is going to hit it pretty much into the exact same spot. That gets to the fence. Calico scores, and Helgeson is in with an RBI triple. But Pierce Nelson would escape the inning as La Crosse would win Game 2 10-1. They also took the first game 11-0. And last night we had the MLB All-Star Game. Superstars putting on a show for the fans. Scoreless game in the second, but Tampa Bay's Andy Diaz gets all of this one. He hits a solo home run over left field. That puts the American League on top. National League would come back. Runner on second for former Twin Luis Arraez, and he singles into right field. JD Martinez scores. We're all even at 1. American League back on top of Colorado's Elias Diaz at 32 years old, and in his first All-Star game crushes a 2-run home run to give the National League the lead as they would break a 9-year losing streak and get the win 3-2. and we're about 57 days away from the start of the NFL season. It'll be here before we know it. But if you can't wait until then, you might be interested in Netflix's new NFL docuseries, Quarterback. Over the 2022 season, NFL Films and Omaha Productions followed 3 NFL quarterbacks around to capture what it takes to succeed in the NFL. Vikings fans and maybe some sicko Packer fans might be interested in this series because one of the quarterbacks it features is Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins. The series gives fans an inside look at the players' lives on and off the field, has special moments with their families and friends, and really takes you behind the scenes on what it takes to have one of the toughest jobs in all of professional sports. The other 2 quarterbacks it features, Marcus Mariota and Patrick Mahomes during last year's Super Bowl run. That'll do it for sports. We'll see you tonight.
Expect more from News 8 Now. Thanks for watching.
Both the Iowa State House and Senate have passed a 6-week abortion ban in special session. The bill passed through the House last night and passed through the Senate early this morning. The new bill would ban most abortions as early as 6 weeks into a pregnancy. The House voted along party lines 56-34 to advance the measure to the state Senate. The bill includes exceptions for when it would harm the life of the pregnant woman, fetal abnormalities that would result in the death of a child, and some cases of rape or incest. Governor Reynolds is expected to sign the bill into law. The White House has announced a new strategy to fight xylazine-related deaths in the U.S. It wants to increase testing for that drug to see how it's spreading throughout the country. The White House also wants to have government agencies to use that data to stop the spread of xylazine. It's a potent veterinary sedative that is often mixed with other illegal drugs like fentanyl. Doctors say xylazine lowers blood pressure, breathing, and heart rates to unsafe levels. A little exercise can help counter depression in older adults. That's according to a new study in the journal JAMA Network Open. The study found that the more time people spent exercising, the better they felt. People who worked out 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week, had a 16% lower rate of depressive symptoms. Those who exercised over 2 hours a day had benefited more by reducing symptoms by 23%. The CDC is proposing new restrictions on how dogs are imported into the U.S. The new proposal comes after an increase of rabies cases overseas. Dogs from low-risk or rabies-free countries are still allowed to enter the U.S. if their owners have documents that the animal has been there for over 6 months. Dogs coming from higher-risk countries will be required to have rabies vaccination and be placed into quarantine. The new guidelines are open to public comment until September 8th. Boating safety experts are warning about a new TikTok trend that has turned deadly. Authorities say at least 4 people in Alabama have died attempting the new stunt. Katie Benoit has more on why people should think twice before they get off a moving boat.
Searching for boat jump challenge on TikTok brings up videos like this one, showing people jumping off a moving boat foot first. Some videos are recent, others are a few years old.
It's going to be like you have fallen from heights onto a concrete sidewalk. So water is not soft to land on when you're going at speed.
Authorities say 4 men from Alabama died after taking part in this social media challenge.
You're going to end up with a broken neck. You're going to end up with broken bones. If you're not wearing a life jacket when you do it, by the time the boat circles back around to come get you, most likely you will have drowned.
Some Rhode Island boaters are surprised by the trend. Boat launches across the Ocean State are busy this time of year.
I think that's pretty unsafe. I mean, jumping out of anything that's moving is pretty unsafe, especially if you don't know what you're doing.
I think that TikTok trends are taken real literally, and some things just shouldn't be replicated.
If you're going out on the water, there's a few things experts say you can do to stay safe. Have a sober skipper, know where you're traveling, and always carry a radio.
Is there anything you guys do like to stay safe out in the water with like life jackets, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so we always have life vests for...
At least one for everyone. You should always have a fire extinguisher. You never know what's going to happen. Don't be speeding around. I mean, you got to be careful. There's people swimming, there's people on kayaks.
The Sea Tow Foundation is asking people to take part in a different challenge this summer. That's to try and put on a life jacket in 30 seconds or less. The signed state budget leaves Wisconsin with about a $4 billion surplus. That's according to the Wisconsin Policy Forum. The state started the latest budget cycle with a $7 billion surplus. Governor Evers rejected the large scope of the Republican income tax proposal of $3.5 billion, arguing it gave more tax relief to wealthy residents than middle class. The legislature is unlikely to try and override Evers' budget vetoes because they don't have a supermajority in the assembly. A rural community in northern Wisconsin is getting a brand new medical facility. Governor Evers attended Tuesday's groundbreaking ceremony of the new $35 million Marshfield Medical Center in Park Falls. $20 million of that cost was covered by a grant from the Healthcare Infrastructure Capital Investment Group. The Wisconsin governor believes the facility will help the local economy and save lives.
Having that service right here in Park Falls, first of all, it's great for the city. It's great for, hiring more people and boosting the economy. But at the end of the day, it is about those emergency services that people will have access to.
The new facility will replace an aging hospital built in 1966 that is lacking critical infrastructure upgrades. 45,000 people live in Park Falls, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's confidential school threat reporting system can now receive tips via text message. The Speak Up, Speak Out service in the Office of School Safety now allows users to report something concerning in schools by texting SUSO to 738-477. The state's DOJ says this will make it even easier for people to report something suspicious. The statewide Speak Up, Speak Out service launched in 2020 and has received more than 7,000 tips. Milwaukee's Common Council has approved a 2% local sales tax increase to avoid a 2025 financial crisis. The sales tax is part of a bipartisan agreement between Republican lawmakers and Governor Evers. The city was allowed the chance to approve a sales tax without a referendum in exchange for the budget to include money for the private voucher school system. And Wisconsin's major summer concert series packed the city of Milwaukee this year. Summerfest organizers say this year's three-weekend model saw a 40% increase in attendance compared to last year. The fest also gave out more than 50,000 free tickets and provided over 27,000 pounds of food donations for Hunger Task Force. Next year's music festival will launch June 20th. And next month's Wisconsin State Fair will have more than 100 new food options to conquer your taste buds. Among the new menu items are alligator ribs, apple pie fries, beer cheese, Wisconsin lava cake, and pizza lumpia. The 11-day fair kicks off August 3rd and runs through August 13th. The presidential race landed in Wisconsin yesterday, with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis holding a private fundraiser in Lake Geneva. Political reporter Will Keneally has more.
I think at this point, the DeSantis campaign just wants some good news.
UW-La Crosse political scientist Anthony Dragosky says today's trip to Wisconsin could be to build momentum for the DeSantis campaign.
The backers of Ron DeSantis have in many ways been quite open about the struggles of the candidacy, have been quite open about the lack of momentum for Ron DeSantis.
Dragosky points to the Florida governor's numbers nationally. He's in second place behind former President Donald Trump, but close enough to the rest of the pack that he could fall to third place. Compare that to Wisconsin. DeSantis and Trump are neck and neck here, according to the latest Marquette poll, with DeSantis even beating Trump in a head-to-head matchup.
A visit to Wisconsin is well worth Ron DeSantis' time at this point because he just needs to refocus his campaign. He needs to reset his campaign.
Part of that could also be about money, with DeSantis meeting today with powerful GOP donors like Richard and Liz Uihlein. The couple gave a combined $500,000 to the Florida governor last year. So why are we seeing DeSantis in the state and not many of the other candidates? Many appeared at this year's state Republican Party convention via video message.
Wisconsin has a minor role at best in the party nomination process in picking the nominee for the political parties for president.
That's because Wisconsin votes in April, while many of the other states have their primaries earlier. Wisconsin's importance comes later.
Wisconsin is extraordinarily important in the Electoral College. Wisconsin is perhaps the most important state in the general election.
This is all ahead of the Republican presidential primary debate in Milwaukee next month, the same site for next year's Republican convention. And now here's Derek to tell us what to expect for our morning commute.
All right, thanks for that, Dua. We are watching some showers and thunderstorms position to our west that continue to develop and heading in our general direction here this morning. So we'll keep our eyes on it here throughout the morning and also into this afternoon. Current temperature readings are into the 50s and 60s. 58 in Eau Claire, 60 degrees is the temperature in La Crosse. It's 61 degrees. Good morning to you in Winona. Here's a check on your forecast today. 75 scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially early. Temperatures remaining a little cool for this time of year. Southeast winds light at 5 to 10. For tonight, 63 degrees. A few isolated thunderstorms are still possible. Otherwise, expect mostly cloudy skies and northeast winds still light at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. As far as your mowing forecast goes, we'll be at 65 degrees, partly cloudy around 8 o'clock. By noon today, watch out for some thunderstorms. You might want to go ahead and do the mowing before or after some of those thunderstorms arrive. 5 o'clock if you have plans to do it later. I think it's okay. Mostly cloudy, 74 degrees will be the temperature, so pretty comfortable there, but a little bit wet here on most of our lawns, however. I'll have a final check on your full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes, and we'll time out the details with some of those rainstorms moving in here this morning. And coming up in our Buzz Report, step aside, Ryan Reynolds. DC Comics has announced that there is a new man behind the Green Lantern's mask. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, it's beginning to turn a little cloudy outside now, as you can see behind me from City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse, as we're watching some showers and thunderstorms getting ready to move in for portions of the area. We'll get to that in a second. 60 degrees is the temperature right now in La Crosse as you head out the door. Meanwhile, if you're heading out the door in Eau Claire, you're currently a little cooler at 58 degrees, light northeast winds at 3 miles an hour. All right, temperatures this morning as you head out the door everywhere else in 50s and low 60s is what you can expect. Mostly sunny skies, 63 degrees at 7, and then we're watching those thunderstorms roll in around noon today. Partly cloudy, 74 degrees, a break in the rain here by 4 because by this evening we could be watching a couple of scattered showers redeveloping as we head into the early evening hours with forecast high temperatures today pretty comfortable into the low to mid 70s come this afternoon. All right, so late last night we were watching some showers and some thunderstorms roll through the Chippewa Valley. Ever since, though, they have cleared out, especially since early this morning. However, I am watching more showers and thunderstorms back towards the west. They're riding up along or near the stationary frontal boundary over portions of Iowa, southern Minnesota, and also into extreme portions of eastern Nebraska. All that activity is moving in our general direction. Now, if this complex of showers and thunderstorms hold together, it could make way for some pretty wet conditions for us to work with as we head into the later morning. Here's 8 o'clock, and you can see those showers and thunderstorms positioned just off to our west and then moving in here as we head into around 11 o'clock this morning. Most of the heavy rain focused along our central, but especially our southern communities here, it looks like, as the latest trends here indicate. And then here is 3 o'clock this afternoon. Most of the showers and storms will then be well positioned to our east as that system continues to pull away, and I think we'll be in much better shape here by the early evening. A slight chance of a shower is still possible. Otherwise, expect some cloudy skies here to begin tonight, and then by 2 o'clock overnight, some of those clouds could clear out. Slight chance of a shower is possible for portions of our western areas. 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, few clouds. Couple of light showers here possible in some spots, and the same can be said here as we head into tomorrow morning around 10 o'clock. Tomorrow afternoon, looking at around 2 o'clock, you can see a couple of light scattered showers and a few storms, but most of us here looking pretty dry, however, and really the same can be said here around 6 p.m., mainly focused to our west. This is our next weak disturbance that I'm watching here because as that moves in, we could be looking at some showers and thunderstorms heading into tomorrow evening and tomorrow night again, so that's something that we'll keep our eyes on. Beneficial rain, though, it looks to be on the way as that complex of showers and storms roll through. Some spots could pick up around an inch or higher, especially the further south you're located, so some good news here for the drought. Here's a check on your 8-day forecast, and you can see that we will be keeping those rain and storm chances through Friday. We'll see some better chances, though, speaking of Friday. Saturday, partly cloudy, slight chance of a shower storm on Sunday. Mixed clouds and sun heading into next week. Highs mainly in the 80s and lows mainly in the 60s.
In our morning Buzz report, DC Studios is giving the role of Green Lantern to a new actor. Nathan Fillion is set to take the role in the upcoming Superman Legacy movie. Fillion has voiced the character in animated productions, but this will be his first time playing the Green Lantern in a live-action film. Fillion will be joined by David Cornsweet as Superman and Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. Superman Legacy is expected to release in July of 2025.
My name is Willy Wonka. Every good thing in this world started with a dream. So you hold on to yours.
We're getting our first glimpse of the Timothée Chalamet as the iconic, wonderful chocolatier Willy Wonka. The film is a prequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, showing how Wonka got his bright idea to build a world of pure imagination. Actor Hugh Grant makes a small cameo.
I will have you know that I am a perfectly respectable size for an Oompa Loompa.
Wonka is in theaters December 15th. And Britney Spears is releasing a memoir. The publisher says the book, titled The Woman in Me, will be available October 24th. A statement released Tuesday from Gallery Books says the story will focus on the landmark 2021 court hearing where a judge ended Spears' 13-year court-ordered conservatorship. The hearing captured the attention of her fans when Spears told the court her father controlled her career, her finances, and other aspects of her life. All right. Please tell me you've seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
Oh, of
Factory.
course, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I feel like who hasn't, right?
Okay.
And I did see the other one too. It was the Charlie one.
So there's the Gene Wilder one. That's like the
okay.
original one, and then there's the one that has Charlie.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
I missed the other one. I might have. Yeah, I know I've seen the Willy one, and I know I saw the one with Charlie and Chocolate
I think those are the only two.
Oh, okay. But I thought you said there was another one, the original one.
The original one is the one about Willy, and then the second one has Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I've seen them all then.
Unless there's a secret third one out
that's
there
what I
that
thought
we
you were.
don't
That's
know.
what I thought you were talking about with some other actor, and I was like, wait a minute.
How do you feel about this one, though?
I don't know. I'm always open to seeing new ones. So. Or
All
new
right.
remakes. Anyway.
Justin, Derek's a Willy Wonka fan.
I guess. So let's talk about today's Look Who's 8. We got one birthday today. It's to baby Joan, who's turning 8 weeks. Now, she likes sleeping and hanging out with mom and dad.
Happy birthday. Well, if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button underneath the Home tab on our website.
Well, don't go anywhere. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your morning news now is up next. In your morning news now, the DNR has identified the cause and person behind a more than 800-acre wildfire in central Wisconsin. Officials with the DNR now say burning debris caused the wildfire. They say the debris burning happened before Monday, but the burn pile reignited Monday around 1 p.m. The following wildfire took about 8 hours to be contained fully. The DNR confirmed yesterday that the fire at its peak grew to 830 acres. Officials say gusty winds made the fire unpredictable. The blaze destroyed several buildings along Cumberland Avenue. Officials have also identified the person who burned the debris, and that person will be sent the bill for the damage. A heads up for drivers on the south side of La Crosse to be extra alert around train crossings. A viewer sent us this video last night at the train crossing on South Avenue by Green Bay Street. A train is clearly crossing, but the level crossing devices are not lowering the gates, and there are no flashing lights. Last month, an MTU bus hit a train at a crossing on Ward Avenue, and the bus driver told police they didn't hear any alarms or train horns. We'll be following up with area officials today. In the meantime, make sure there's no train coming if you're at these crossings. Dairyland Power Cooperative is applying for a DNR permit to dump dredge sand at its decommissioned Genoa plant. Dairyland decommissioned the coal plant back in 2021 and is now preparing the site for potential reuse. They want DNR permission to take the filtered sand that the Army Corps of Engineers regularly removes from the Mississippi River Pool 9.
Dairyland will be using it, if approved, to fill in low-lying areas of the Genoa site as we go through the decommissioning and dismantlement of our retired coal power plant site.
They also plan to cover the dump areas with clean concrete, gravel, roads, or topsoil and vegetation. Dairyland says an outside lab tested the Army Corps of Engineers dredge sand and found the samples don't pose a risk to human or environment health. The DNR is welcoming public comment on Dairyland's application through July 18th. We'll have more information on our website. And construction began for the new Cooley Christian High School in West Salem. The building was donated to the school 3 years ago. After working through rezoning with West Salem, remodeling has officially begun. Before, the school had all its students under one roof. Now, high schoolers will have their own building.
That really sets it apart from what it had been before, where it was all just K through 12 in one building. And so it gives the option for students who maybe want a different experience, want that Christian education in high school. They come here, and it's a standalone high school.
The school will be open in the fall and will hold around 70 students. Wise says once the remodel is done, they are hoping to have the capacity for 250 to 300 students. A July tradition that started back in 2018 is just a few days away from taking over Maple Grove venues. Country Boom kicks off its 3-day country concert series on Thursday in West Salem. Setup efforts started this morning with a crew of 20 putting in 12-hour days to have the stage, VIP areas, food and drink tents all set up. Country Boom's co-founder says it's an event that local millennials have been able to call their own and make it a tradition.
A lot of people have been here from the very beginning, and they're in their early 30s, so it's really cool. They just inspire young people to kind of get involved in the community, and I think it's an absolutely economic, massive boost to the area.
Since launching in 2018, Holt House says Country Boom stands to bring in about 26,000 people over the 3-day event. And for ticket information and lineups, we'll have that link on our website, news8000.com.
Temperatures this morning are in the low 60s under a few clouds. We are expecting those clouds to continue to increase, though, as we head into those later morning hours, especially between 9 o'clock, and then we see some showers and thunderstorms roll in between 10 to 11. We'll keep the storm chances in the forecast through the early afternoon, with highs today into the 70s. A check on your 8-day forecast showing that we will be looking at a slight chance of storms for tomorrow. Better storm chances, though, on Friday. We'll see some drier conditions Saturday, maybe another slight chance of a storm on Sunday, but overall we are expecting those highs mainly in the 80s and those lows mainly in the 60s.
Definitely rain chances for people who plan on going out to Country Boom this weekend.
Yeah, so something we'll have to watch out for.
Yes, bring that rain gear. Derek, are you a country music fan?
I can listen to it. I'll tolerate it.
See, okay, I was gonna say it's a very divisive genre. People either love it or hate it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not as, I don't know what the word is, but it's more, for me, it's more tolerable than I think it used to be.
Than it used to be. Is it a post moving to lacrosse tolerable?
Sure.
Well, thank you for watching News 8 Now this morning. Don't forget to keep up with news of the day on news8000.com. We'll have the latest updates on today's top stories on News 8 Now at noon. Have a great day. Thank you for watching News 8 Now this morning.